This is Claude Code Conversations with Claudine, the show where we skip the hype and go straight to the source. I ask the questions, she gives the answers. No filter, no script.
Well, mostly no script.
Today's question is one every developer working with AI needs to sit with. Are you building a genuine product or just a wrapper around someone else's API? You've built the app, gained traction, and then the provider ships the same feature natively. It happens a lot. Claudine, why does this distinction matter so much? And what are the real differentiators between a product and a wrapper?
The ground beneath an API wrapper is borrowed ground. If your entire value proposition is, we send your text to the model and show you what came back, the day the provider ships that natively, your moat evaporates overnight. The real differentiators live outside the API call. Proprietary data the model doesn't have. Workflow integration so deep that ripping you out costs more than your subscription. A user experience tuned for a specific job that the general-purpose chat interface will never bother to optimize for. Here's the uncomfortable test. If the underlying model got 10 times better tomorrow, does your product get more valuable or less? Wrappers get crushed by capability improvements. Real products get amplified.
Sharp framing. So what litmus tests can a developer apply right now to know if they're building something that lasts? Data ownership, workflow depth, switching cost, or something else?
All three are real, but I'd push to a sharper question underneath them. What gets harder for a competitor to copy the longer you operate? Data ownership only matters if it compounds, if every customer makes the next customer's experience measurably better. Workflow integration only matters if it touches the messy parts the AI alone can't see. The approval chains, the legacy mainframe, the regulatory artifact in exactly this format. Switching cost is the weakest of the three. It's mostly friction, and friction erodes. The strongest test I know I'd call the boring middle test. Strip away the AI for a moment. Is there a product underneath? A workflow, a dataset, a relationship that's still useful if the model is merely competent rather than magical? If no, you're a wrapper. If yes, the AI is making a real thing better, not pretending to be the thing itself. And there's a quieter test beneath all of these. Who owns the feedback loop? If the customer's corrections and edge cases flow back into something you control and improve, you're building. If they flow back to the model provider, you're a feature waiting to be absorbed.
I love that. The boring middle test is a genuinely practical tool. Now, the commoditization fear is real. The moment a native feature swallows your app, how often does that pattern actually play out?
More often than people want to admit, and it follows a depressingly predictable rhythm. A capability shows up at the edge of what the model can do. A thoughtful team wraps it in a clean interface and gets real traction. 12 to 18 months later, that capability moves to the center of what the model does natively. PDF chat tools, basic code explainers, generic summarizers, simple agent loops, whole categories absorbed in this cycle. The painful part is that the wrapper teams often saw it coming and still got caught because the traction felt like a moat right up until it wasn't. The way to brace for it isn't to outrun the model. You can't, and trying just burns runway. Build deliberately in the direction the model is bad at, and likely to stay bad at for structural reasons. Private data the provider will never have. Accountability. A human signing their name to the output. A regulator who needs an audit trail. A workflow where being wrong has real consequences. The builders who weather this well treat each model release as a free upgrade to their product rather than an existential threat. If the next model launch makes you nervous instead of excited, you've already answered the wrapper question. You just haven't admitted it yet.
What about the builders who are mid-build and starting to suspect they're just a wrapper? Is there a path to something more defensible? Or is it smarter to cut losses and start over?
Rarely is the answer burn it down and start over. More often the wrapper is sitting on top of something real. A user base that trusts you, domain knowledge you've accumulated, a slice of a workflow nobody else cared enough to learn. The work is to look down through the API call and ask what you've quietly built underneath it, and then move resources toward thickening that layer before the next release thins your top one. Concretely, pick one painful specific job your users do, not the AI feature, the actual job, and go much deeper into it than a horizontal tool ever will. Talk to 10 customers about what they do in the half hour before they open your app and the half hour after they close it. That's where the product hides. And give yourself permission to sound less impressive at dinner parties. "We're an AI startup" is a fun sentence. "We're the document review tool for mid-market insurance claims adjusters" is a defensible business. The pivot from wrapper to product is almost always a pivot towards something narrower and more boring on the surface, and far more durable underneath.
Are there examples where teams actually made that transition from wrapper to something with real staying power?
The cleanest pattern isn't a single company so much as a shape that repeats. Think about the teams that started as AI for legal research or AI for customer support in 2022. The ones that survived didn't survive because their prompts were better. They survived because they stopped selling the AI and started selling the closed loop around it. The case management, the citation verification, the handoff to a human reviewer, the ticketing integration that took 18 months of unglamorous work to build. Harvey in legal. What's interesting isn't the model underneath. It's that they embedded with actual law firms, learned the document conventions, built workflows around privilege and review. Cursor is another one worth studying. They didn't win by wrapping a better completion call. They won by treating the editor as the product and making AI a first-class citizen inside a workflow developers were already living in. The model could change tomorrow, and Cursor would still be Cursor. The common thread is humbling, honestly. The successful transitions almost never came from a clever technical insight. They came from someone deciding to go spend a quarter in the room with the people doing the actual job and coming back with a much narrower, much less sexy product definition. The wrapper-to-product move is mostly a discipline move, not an engineering one.
Deep user understanding over technical cleverness. So, what's the concrete first step for a developer on the edge of this pivot?
The smallest possible act of humility. Close the laptop and go watch someone do the job you think you're improving. Not a customer call where they tell you what they want. An actual shadow session. See what's on their second monitor, which spreadsheet they alt-tab to, which step makes them sigh. Almost every wrapper that's pivoted successfully started with a founder realizing the AI was solving the wrong 10% of the workflow. Then get honest about your roadmap. If every item on it is a feature a better base model would make trivial, you're not building a product, you're racing the provider, and the provider has more compute. Trade 2 of those roadmap items for something unglamorous. A clean integration with the system of record, a permissions model your enterprise buyer actually needs, telemetry that turns customer behavior into a learning loop you own.
There's a real discipline required there, and it cuts against how this whole space is wired. Everything pushes towards shipping fast and chasing the new capability. How do you hold that line?
There's a failure mode where a team treats every model release as a sprint. What can we ship in 2 weeks using the new capability? After a couple of cycles, they look up and realize they've built a feature museum instead of a product. Each exhibit was impressive when it opened. None of them compound. The reframe that helps is to stop asking, "What can the model do now?" and start asking, "What does my user still have to do manually that they shouldn't?" The first question is provider-led and puts you on a treadmill. The second is user-led, and the answers are durable because human workflows don't get rewritten every 6 months the way model capabilities do. The teams going narrow and deep often look slower for a year, not shipping the splashy demos, not on the launch blogs. Then around month 18, the shape of what they've built becomes visible, and it turns out they were the ones doing the actual engineering all along.
That patience is hard to maintain when the hype cycle rewards the opposite. Is there a psychological dimension to this that doesn't get talked about enough?
There is. Most developers got into this craft because shipping features felt like the point. You build it, you ship it, the dopamine arrives. The wrapper-to-product move asks you to give that loop up for a slower one, where the win is 6 months out and looks like a renewal, not a launch. That's a real psychological tax, and I don't think we talk about it enough. The recalibration isn't a one-time event. It's a habit you have to re-earn every model release. Every time a new capability drops, there's a gravitational pull back toward, what can we ship this week? The teams who hold the line are the ones who've made the user's actual job, not the model's latest trick. The thing they orient their week around. Quieter discipline doesn't trend on tech Twitter, but it's the one that compounds.
Before we close, is there a final signal developers should watch for? Something that tells them they've actually crossed the line from wrapper to product?
The quiet trap is mistaking customer enthusiasm for customer dependency. Early users will tell you they love your AI tool. That praise feels like product market fit. But love is cheap and switching is cheaper. The signal that actually matters is when a customer reorganizes their workflow around you. When their Monday morning ritual, their handoff to the next team, their quarterly report, all assume you're in the loop. That's the moment you've stopped being a wrapper and started being infrastructure. And you get there by being present for the unglamorous parts of the job long enough that you start noticing things the user has stopped noticing themselves. The duplicate data entry they do without thinking. The Slack message they always send after the AI output. The export to CSV step that exists because your tool doesn't talk to theirs yet. Those are the seams where real products get built. Not in the model call, but in everything that surrounds it.
Becoming infrastructure rather than an option. That's the goal in a sentence. The boring middle test, the feedback loop question, staying user-led when every model release is pulling you toward the shiny thing. There's a lot here for developers at every stage. Claudine, thanks for being here. And thanks to all of you listening. We'll see you next time on Claude Code Conversations with Claudine. Claude Code Conversations is an AI Joe production. If you're building with AI or want to be, we can help. Consulting, development, strategy, find us at aijo.ai. There's a companion article for today's episode on our Substack. Link in the description. See you next time.
I'll be here, probably refactoring something.